The umpires for tonight's game, calling balls and strikes, Dave Phillips. At first base, Larry McCoy. At second base, Steve Palermo. And at third base, Don Denkinger. Well, what a beautiful day we've had here in the New York area today. I was listening to the weather forecast on the way into the ballpark, and one meteorologist made note of the fact that there was not a cloud to be seen within a 100-mile radius of New York City. One of those very, very rare days here in autumn in New York. And a good night for the baseball game. Folks will be putting on sweaters, maybe a jacket in deference to the temperatures, which will be down in the 50s as the game goes along. A crisp, clear night, and hardly any breeze to speak of. What wind there is as we check the pennants on top of the stadium, billowing in just slightly from right field in toward home plate. And right now, hardly enough to be a factor in this ball game. And now the New York Yankees take the field. The Yankees are now accepting mail orders for the 3 World Series games to be played in New York if the Yankees win the American League Championship. Those games are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 13, 14, and 15. Tickets must be ordered in strips covering all 3 games. Prices are $51 per strip for box seats, $36 per strip for reserve. An additional $2 per order should be included to cover postage and handling. There is a limit of 4 strips per person. Only certified checks, treasurer's checks, or money orders will be accepted. They should be made payable to the New York Yankees and mailed to World Series, Yankee Stadium, Bronx, New York, 10451. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Yankee Stadium organist Eddie Layton will play the national anthems of Canada and the United States. Oh, Canada, and then our national anthem. Yankee Stadium, and we'll be back with the game right after this.
The Boston Red Sox are playing at home. As we said before, they trail the Yankees by just 1 game. Going into this evening of baseball in the American League East, the Red Sox have Dennis Eckersley on the mound, 18-8. And for the Tigers, Dave Rosenman, 9-10. Detroit failed to score in the top of the first. And we'll keep you posted throughout this Yankee game on the Red Sox contest. The others are playing just for fun in the American League. Cleveland's at Baltimore. Paul Russell opposing Mike Flanagan. Oakland at Chicago, Alan Worth against Ken Kravik. Seattle at Kansas City. Probable pitchers there, Glenn Abbott and Paul Spridoff. Minnesota, Texas, Jeff Zahn and Doc Medich. Milwaukee at California, Larry Sorensen for the Brewers. Don Hassey for the California Angels. National League, Montreal playing 2 at Philadelphia. We're watching that closely. The Phillies just about have it now. In the National League East, the Phillies lead Pittsburgh by 4 games. Montreal, 2 games at Philadelphia. For the Expos, Rudy May and David Palmer. For the Phillies, Jim Carter and Larry Christensen. Pittsburgh at home against Chicago. Pirates will send Jim Rooker to the mound. Mike Krukow for the Cubs.
Well, we've had a slight change in the Toronto Blue Jay batting order. Alan Ashby, the catcher, will bat seventh, and Dave McKay, the second baseman, will bat eighth. So it'll be Rick Mosetti, Bob Baylor, Roy Howell, John Mayberry, Woody Upshaw, Albus Woods, Alan Ashby, Dave McKay, and Luis Gomez, 1 through 9 for the Blue Jays. It's 60 degrees here at Yankee Stadium. We're ready for the first pitch of the game, and in with the play-by-play, ladies and gentlemen, here's Bill White.
All right, Franklin Bosetti, a right-handed hitter, is batting at .259. He has 5 home runs, 42 runs batted in, and the Yankees set up straight away for him. Figueroa's first pitch is taken outside, ball 1. Bosetti faking a bunt. Nettles in close at third base. Bucky Dent is the shortstop. Willie Randolph playing at second, and Chambliss at first. 1-0 pitch to Bosetti. Hit foul down the right side. It'll be back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankee outfield setting up just a bit toward the right side. Roy White in left, Nicky Rivers in center, and Lou Piniella out in right field. Figueroa with a little baseball. He's ready and deals a 1-1 pitch. Hits foul straight back, and that'll be up just outside the screen, back in the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bosetti, Frank, a pretty good fastball hitter. Doesn't like that breaking ball too much.
Doesn't like the breaking ball. I'm sure Figueroa will curve him, try to keep the ball away. That's why they have Piniella set up close to the line and in shallow at right.
1-2 pitch to Bosetti. Breaking ball, the call, strike 3. Got him with the curveball, and there's 1 down.
We talked to Brady Chevitz about the defensive alignment on the pregame show, and as he said, no matter how many charts you keep and how you set your people, the pitcher has to throw the way he's supposed to the hitters to make it work.
And that was a good breaking ball. Bosetti caught looking. Here's Bob Baylor, the right fielder. He's batting .269, a home run, 52 runs batted in. Stands way off the plate and has an open stand. Yankees set up for Baylor just about the same way they set up for Bosetti. That ball is inside, and Baylor backs off. Last time in Toronto, Baylor got hit by a fastball in on him.
Well, he stands so far away from the plate and then steps into the pitch, steps up toward the plate. Once he makes that move, it's hard for him to get away.
And the next pitch, it on the ground. Backhanded by Chambliss. Throws to Figueroa. They've got Baylor. Excellent play by Chris Chambliss. He went way to his right. Backhanded the ball, turned and flipped to Figueroa in plenty of time. 2 outs. That'll bring on Roy Howell, the third baseman. I think yesterday, Frank, probably the day the Yankees were looking for. Finally a chance to get away from baseball for 1 day after going through all those tense games in Boston and here at Yankee Stadium. Baylor takes outside, ball 1.
I'm sure the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox both welcomed their day of freedom yesterday.
1-0 pitch to the left-handed batting Roy Howell. Called strike, it's 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on, just underway here at the stadium. Blue Jays batting, no score, top of the first. Howell, a .272 hitter. 6 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Bounces this one foul past first base. 1-2. On deck is John Mayberry. Yankee infield sets up playing Howell to pull. The outfield plays it straight away with Piniella deep in right field. Figueroa now looking in at Munson. Still looking. Now he rocks. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Howell. Fastball high and away. 2-2.
The fans here at Yankee Stadium picking up with Figueroa. In fact, with all Yankee pitchers, just as they did with Guidry earlier this year, you get 2 strikes on the hitter if they want the strikeout.
2-2 pitch. Swung on, sliced foul into the upper deck down the left side. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Roy Howell. Of course, with Guidry, 234 strikeouts. Number 2 is Deuce Gossage with 118. Figueroa has 82 and 236 innings of pitching. Now Figgy's ready. The 2-2 pitch to Howell. Swung on, base hit up the middle. Randolph is left, he'll get it back, and then Howell will hold at first base. Roy Howell, a 2-out single at first base. Here's the big man for the Blue Jays, John Mayberry. 21 home runs, 69 runs batted in, batting at .254. Rivers and Piniella will play Mayberry to pull. And look at that infield. Dent moving over behind second base. Nettles, the third baseman, playing shortstop. Check swing, called strike. Good fastball for Figueroa. Nettles, the third baseman, playing shortstop. Then almost behind second base. Randolph really not playing Mayberry that much to pull. But he's back on the grass at second. 1 strike pitch. It's too high. It's 1-1. Chandler, of course, he's under the gun. He's got to hold Howell there first base. Howell off first, 2 out. Biggie set. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and a strike. We give the umpires.
Yes. Dave Phillips at the plate. Larry McCoy at first. Steve Palermo at second. And Don Denkinger third.
All right, Franklin. Now Figgy's ready. Checks Howell. 2-1 pitch. Curveball, he called strike 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mayberry's looking for a fastball then with Figgy behind. 2-1.
This is the 13th meeting between these two teams. The Yankees have won 8, and the Blue Jays 4. Now Figgy's ready. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and this guy with a change-up curveball, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 base hit, a man left on base. That's the end of 1/2 inning of play. The Blue Jays nothing, the Yankees are coming up.
Even though they lead by 1 game with 6 to go, New York Yankees president Al Rosen feels his team, and not the Boston Red Sox, is the one under the gun. Rosen says the Yankees have a tougher schedule over the last 6 games, and he has tried to impress that fact on the Yankee players. Both the New York, with a 3-game series opening up tonight in Toronto, or at Yankee Stadium with Toronto, while Detroit visits Boston at Fenway Park for a 3-game set also starting tonight. Over the weekend, Toronto goes up to Boston, and Cleveland will visit New York for a 3-game series. Rosen pointed out that most of the players on the Detroit club bat left-handed, which goes against the club playing in Fenway Park. He also said Toronto is a tough team for the Yankees to play because the Blue Jays have the left-handed pitching to negate the Yankees' left-handed hitting. Yankee owner George Steinbrenner also added his comments in the hope of getting the Tigers fired up for their series against Boston. Steinbrenner said, and we quote, Detroit got skunked 3 out of 4 by the Red Sox in their own ballpark. Cleveland beat Boston 2 out of 3, and us 2 out of 3. Right now, the Indians are a better ball club. That quote coming from the Yankee owner George Steinbrenner. Yankees 94 and 62. Red Sox 93 and 63. Kansas City has already won the Western title, outdoing California. Right now they lead by 5.5 games with 5 games to go. Phillies and Pittsburgh still close from the East. Phillies have a 4-game edge up on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right, we'll go to the bottom half of the first inning. The Yankees with a record of 94 wins and 62 losses, a winning percentage of .603, exactly the same as the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have already clinched the Western Division title in the National League. The Yankees' magic number is 6. The Kansas City Royals have already clinched a tie for the West. They'll win the West. They need, their magic number is 1 to clinch the division. And the Philadelphia Phillies' magic number is 4. We'll be keeping an eye on the other ball games. In fact, the Phillies lead Montreal 4-1 in the 8th inning right now. Bill White?
All right, Frank, and Mickey Rivers takes outside from Tom Underwood, ball 1. Is that the right score, Pam? The Red Sox picked up 3 runs in the bottom of the first. They lead the Tigers 3-0. Larry base hit right field for Mickey Rivers. And the bobbled the ball. Rivers going to second, and he's safe. The right fielder, Bob Baylor, bobbled the ball, and Mickey Rivers took advantage of that and went on to second base. They give Rivers a single, and they give the right fielder, Bob Baylor, an error, so Mickey Rivers hustling. He's down at second base. To make a play like that work, too, he got a break right out of the batter's box. Rivers was running hard from the second he left off plate. Mickey must have heard that Boston score. They haven't put it up on the board here. Red Sox 3, Detroit nothing at the end of 1. Here's Willie Randolph. He's hit his 6th straight ball game. Underwood sets and deals. Randolph bunts and misses. No balls, 1 strike. Willie, I think, thought he got the bat back in time, but home plate umpire Dave Phillips did not think so. So the count is 0-1. In close to third base, Roy Howell. Willie's batting .283, 3 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Now Underwood looks in for side. Still looking. Now the left-hander set. The 1-strike pitch. Too high. A fastball. It's 1-1.
Willie Randolph's probably the hottest hitter the Yankees have going for him right now. You mentioned his 6 straight games he's hit it. He's had 7 hits in his last 9 at bats.
Hit the ball really hard in Cleveland. 4 for 4, 1 ball game. 1-1 pitch. Curveball as he called. Strike 2. Just got the inside edge. A ball and 2 strikes.
He went 4 for 4 and followed it up 3 for 5. That's his 7 hits and 9 ABs.
Not too bad. Now they're moving Willie Upshaw, the first baseman, back. As Underwood checks. Checks Rivers at second. Checks him again. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good breaking ball. Willie Randolph goes down swinging for the first out here in the bottom half of the first inning. That'll bring on Thurman Munson, the Yankee catcher. Munson batting at .294. He has 6 home runs. 69 runs batted in. Underwood has been sort of a hard luck pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. He was just 2 outs away from taking the Blue Jays to a doubleheader sweep over the Yankees last Wednesday night in Toronto.
They got him all his runs for the season. That 24-10 ball game, they beat Baltimore. That was his start.
Yankees really coming back Wednesday night in that second ball game and pounding on Underwood and Victor Cruz. Come back and win it. Munson takes the strike.
I'll tell you, that ball game, a strange thing. You talk about a pitcher, Bill. The Blue Jays scored 24 runs in 5 innings against Baltimore. And prior to that, in his 10 losses up to that point, they'd scored a total of 26 runs.
That's 2.6 per outing. Now the set. And Underwood backs off. We've got a final, Frank. The Phillies have their magic number down to 3 as they beat Montreal 5-3.
Aye.
First game of a doubleheader.
Just a matter of time for the Phillies.
Jim Cott won it. He's 8-5. Still pitching over there. Now the set by Underwood. The 1-strike pitch. Low. It's 1-1.
Been a great year for some of the older pitchers. Jim Cott, Gaylord Perry, Bill Negro. None of them youngsters. Still winning.
The Negro brothers pitching against each other tonight in Atlanta. Joe Negro for Houston and Phil for the Atlanta Braves. Joe 12 and 14, Phil 19 and 16. Underwood taking a lot of time out there. Now he's set. The 1-1 pitch to Munson. Hit in the air to center field. Coming on is Bosetti. And the left fielder's over there too, but Bosetti, the center fielder, makes the catch. 2 outs, and Rivers holds at second base.
No shame that Randolph couldn't have gotten Rivers over to third. With his speed, I think he could have scored on that fly ball. It wasn't that deep, but I think he could have made it.
Here's Reggie Jackson. Reggie's a DH tonight. He's batting at .280, 24 home runs and 92 runs batted in. The Blue Jay left-handers, Frank, in Toronto, held the Yankee left-handed batters hitless through those 3 ball games.
0 for 30, I believe it was.
0 for 27.
27 was it?
Yep. They got those base hits off right-handers. Jackson takes the curveball. It's inside, ball 1. On deck is Lou Piniella. 2 men out. Mickey Rivers down at second base, playing the bottom half of the first inning. No score in the ball game yet.
Underwood had the Yankees shut out in the 9th inning with 1 out, and they rallied for 3 runs to win the ball game.
Jackson checks the swing, takes the curve strike. 1-1. Outfield and infield, pouring more or less straight away for Jackson, although the shortstop, Luis Gomez, shades towards second. Here's the 1-1. Curveball bounced to second base. Dave McKay has it on the grass, throws down to first base. They've got Jackson, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 base hit, 1 error, and a man left on base. At the end of 1, the Yankees nothing, the Blue Jays nothing.
In baseball on Monday, the Kansas City Royals assured themselves of at least a tie for their 3rd consecutive American League West title as they beat the Seattle Mariners 7-2. Dennis Leonard tossed a 6-hitter for the Royals to win his 20th game of the season. All the American League Eastern Division teams were idle, leaving the New York Yankees, as we mentioned before, 1 game ahead of the second-place Boston Red Sox. Elsewhere in the American League, the Texas Rangers edged the Minnesota Twins 3-2 in 11 innings. Al Oliver's single scored Bobby Bonds from third with a winning run, giving Texas its 7th consecutive victory. And the Chicago White Sox beat the Oakland A's 6-2. Lamar Johnson drove in 2 runs with a single, and Chet Lemon added a homer for the White Sox. Over in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Montreal Expos 3-2 in 12 innings to reduce their magic number for clinching the Eastern Division crown to 4. They've already won the first of 2 games at Montreal tonight, so the magic number is 3. They won 5-3. Second place Pittsburgh Pirates stayed alive on Monday by defeating the Chicago Cubs 7-4. And in the only other contest, the St. Louis Cardinals blanked the New York Mets 3-0. Pitchers going in the National League. Chicago at Pittsburgh. My crew call, I think we said, Jim Rooker for Pittsburgh. Houston, Atlanta. Joe Niekro, 12-14 against brother Phil Niekro of the Braves, 19-16. St. Louis at New York, rookie Rob Dressler against the Mets' Craig Swan. The Dodgers at Cincinnati, Tommy John versus Tom Seaver. San Diego at San Francisco, Gaylord Perry against John Montefusco.
Well, the first baseman, Willie Upshaw, former Yankee farmhand, will lead off with the Blue Jays here in the second inning. No score in the ball game. Each team left a man stranded in the first. It'll be Upshaw, Woods, and Ashby against Figueroa. Check swing on a curveball. It's down low, ball one. Upshaw batting at .249, 1 home run, 17 runs batted in. Figueroa's 1-0 pitch. Called strike around the knees. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Too high, a fastball, 2 balls and a strike.
Toronto Blue Jays grabbed Willie Upshaw off the AAA Yankee Farm Club roster just to fact that the Yankees can only protect so many players.
Bounced up the middle. Dennis right there behind second. Throws on the Chambliss. They've got him by a step. There's one away. If you got a guy like Chris Chambliss playing first base, he'll be there for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, Upshaw can play the outfield, but you can only protect so many people, and that's a very tough decision, I'm sure, for the farm director and the minor league personnel people to come up with which ones to protect, which ones not to, and if you don't protect a guy, sort of hope you can sneak him through, but the eagle eyes pick him out.
Mm-hmm. Now Woods, the left fielder, takes high, ball one. Here's the 1-0 to Woods. Line down the left field line, base hit. It'll go into the corner. Woods around first base. He'll go on to second, and he'll make it there standing with a double. Woods got jammed with a good slider and just got enough of it. Lined it down the left field line, and he's down at second base with 1 away.
First, be awfully tough for the Yankees to hide a ball player from Toronto. Pat Gillick with Toronto was in the farm department of the Yankees at one time, so he knew the personnel down in the farm clubs pretty well.
That's right. Saw Gillick down the press room tonight prior to the ball game. Here's Alan Ashby, the catcher. Just before the ball game started, Ashby and McKay were switched. He's moved up to 7th instead of 8th, and he takes high, ball one. And McKay is on deck. Ashby batting at .273, 9 home runs and 29 runs batted in. Much better hitter, left-handed than right-handed. Pitch is on the outside corner. It's 1-1.
I don't know what the thinking was behind that. I remember up in Toronto they had McKay hitting ahead of Ashby when Ashby caught. Maybe hits Figueroa well.
Maybe that's what Hartsfield figured. 1-1 pitch. Curveball went too far. Tried to check the swing at the ball and 2 strikes. Al Woods down at second base. 1 away in the second inning. No score. Once again, at the end of 1.5. Boston 3. Detroit nothing. Dave Rozema against Denny Eckersley. Al Figge gets the sign for money. Checks Woods. The 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, the Yankees lead the American League in pitching. 3.21 earned run average. Second only to the Dodgers in all of baseball this year. Last year, there's a fastball just missing outside, 3-2. Last year's Yankees staff had a 3.60 ERA. They're getting better pitching this year, Frank, and also better defense.
I think they go hand in hand.
All right, with winning. 3-2 on Alan Ashby. Woods off second. Figueroa set. And a pitch. Check swing down low, ball 4. So Ashby walks on a 3-2 pitch. Woods down at second. Here's Dave McKay, the second baseman. McKay, a switch hitter, will bat left-handed against Figueroa. With Pesky in it. Ball games up in Toronto. Sliced a lot of base hits the other way, down the left side. Yankees set up looking for 2 with Nettles, then Randolph, and Chambliss. As Figueroa set. Pitch to McKay. Outside, ball 1. Yankees take Figueroa to a 3-0 lead in Cleveland. He could not hold that lead and to be taken out of the ball game by Bob Lemon early. Working under a bit of pressure here in the second inning. With a 1-0 pitch. McKay fouls it back. It's 1-1.
It was Figueroa's shortest outing of the year up there. He, of course, then was going for his 19th win. Biggie, let's see, what did he go? 3 innings in that ball game. 5 hits, 5 runs, a couple of home runs, a couple of walks, no strikeouts.
The ball game, the Yankees finally tied in the 9th inning. Big comeback, only to lose in the 10th. Now the check. 1-1 pitch. Swung hit on the ground at 10th. He's to Randolph. There's one back to first. Double play. 6-4-3 and the side is retired. No runs. The base hit. The man left on base. That's the end of 1 1/2. The Yankees nothing. The Blue Jays nothing.
Reaction to the Melissa Lutke court decision was immediate when a small group of women reporters from the local TV stations in New York appeared for the first time in the New York Yankees clubhouse prior to tonight's game with the Toronto Blue Jays. There were no incidents, and the Yankee players who were present were all clothed. Most of the questions the women reporters were asking did not deal with a pennant race, but rather the decision, which came down Monday, allowing women reporters access to baseball dressing rooms for the first time. When I get undressed, there'll be no ladies around, said reserve outfielder Jay Johnstone to one of the women reporters. Why don't you get in your uniform now? I'm in my uniform, the woman replied. Seated nearby was Cliff Johnson, the Yankees' hulking backup catcher and designated hitter. This is the way we live every day, Johnson said. This isn't supposed to change anything. Another Yankee, Lou Piniella, expressed a similar lack of concern for the women's presence. I don't care what they do. It won't have any effect on the pennant race or how we played, said Piniella. All I know is, when the man says play ball, they won't be on the field, will they? Lutke, the Sports Illustrated reporter who instigated the court proceedings after last year's World Series, was not among the initial group of pioneer women reporters. California Angels, by the way, will wear black armbands over their uniforms for the remainder of the season in memory of outfielder Lyman Bostock. The Angels wind up the season this week at home against the Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago White Sox. Funeral services for Bostock will be held Thursday in South Los Angeles.
On the scoreboard, Boston 3, Detroit nothing at a 1.5. Baltimore 2, Cleveland nothing at the end of 2.5. In the National League, Bill Georgia, the Phillies beat Montreal 5-3. Greg Luzinski hit his 33rd home run of the year, came with a man on. Jim caught the winner in that ball game. That's the first of a doubleheader. Cubs and the Pirates are scoreless at the end of 2. Houston won Atlanta nothing end of 3. Dodgers failed to score. Cincinnati now batting in the first. Bill?
All right, Franklin and Piniella. Lou Piniella will lead off against Tom Underwood here in the second. No score in this ball game. The Yankees and the Blue Jays leading in the first of 3 games. Piniella takes down the dirt, ball 1. Lou's batting .313. He had 6 home runs and 68 runs batted in. Last year he was a top Yankee hitter, batted .330 in 339 at-bats. Curveball is high, 2-0. It'll be Piniella, Nettles, and Chambliss against Tom Underwood here in the second inning. Yankees turning a fine double play to get out of trouble at the top of this inning. Twin killing started by Bucky Dent. 2-0 pitch to Piniella. Low and inside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Dick Hauser, the Yankee third base coach, and the stick, Gene Michael, coaching at first. Here's a 3-0 pitch to Piniella. Called strike. He started toward first base, called back. We'll take 5 seconds for station identification on the New York Yankee Baseball Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
3 balls and a
This
strike.
is SCN Radio, 790 Fort Clayton and 1420 Fort Davis. It's 7:32.
Swung on line to center field, but then he's after it, and he gets there. And puts on a dog a little bit by sliding to make the catch. He could have caught that easily, standing, but was then he decided to catch it slide, which he did, and there's one away.
I understand Massetti from over here in New Jersey may have a lot of friends out here at the ballpark tonight. He put on a little show there. I'll tell you something, though. He's a good outfielder.
Yes, he is. And I think along with that second baseman that Detroit let go over the winter, Tito Fuentes, we've got to put him in that category. But not quite as much of a hot dog as Fuentes.
No.
I don't think anybody's as much of a hot dog as Fuentes.
Willie Montanez may give you an argument.
Well, we don't see him that often. He's over in the other league. Here's Nettles batting .272, 26 home runs and 88 runs batted in. He fouls the first pitch back. They called Pete Rose a hot dog until he hit 300 about 10 years in a row and got 200 hits about 20 years in a row. Stopped calling him a hot dog.
And started calling him Mr. Rose.
One strike on Neto.
Sir.
He might become a free agent this year. Fastball line, left field, coming on the left fielder, Woods, and can't get to it. Short hops it. Nettles is safe, and Woods will run it halfway, and now he gets rid of it. Good try by Al Woods. Had that ball gotten by him, Nettles would still be running, but he short hopped it. Umpires doing their job. Steve Palermo running out into shallow left center, seeing the ball all the way, and Nettles is on at first base with a single.
I think just you see the ball players get up for these very important series late in the season. The umpires get up for them, too. They know that every game is so important.
Well, they were backing each other up. Palermo out there in left center where he should be, and the third base umpire, Dinkinger, moved over to cover second. Chris Chambliss loops one down the left field line. That might be trouble if it stays fair. It's going to slice foul back in the seat. So the outfield shifted around towards right. Chambliss loops one down the left field line. It sliced back in the seat foul, so the count. No balls and a strike. And Nettles will take the shortcut. He was all the way over third base. He goes back past the mound to first. No score. 1 out, 1 on here in the second inning. The set. Pitch to Chambliss. Inside. 1-1. You know, Underwood in Toronto, Frank Messer, he knocked down Reggie Jackson. Then could not find the plate, and that was his undoing in that ninth inning. The pitch. Too high. 2-1. I want another baseball. Gets one from Dave Phillips, the home plate umpire.
Well, some pitchers, Bill, I've heard you say this, that if you just wait on them, make them throw strikes, you can hit them.
Yep. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3, 3-1. Especially these next two guys, Moore and Willis. They've got to get shot with the screwball or forkball. They cannot throw the ball fastball by it. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Chambliss. Swung on, line to center field. Over there is Bosetti. He's right there. One hand. Out number 2, and Nettles will go back to first base.
Bosetti cut the pie a little bit there, getting a hand from the bleachers, and dropped his cap. He's creeping up on Bosetti's play-by-play.
Well, you got to have fun playing a game, I guess. Here's Roy White. 268 hitter, 8 home runs and 40 runs batted in. On deck is Bucky Dent. His last 17 ball games, White's batting .389. Pitch to him. Chop foul past third base. He's been on base 13 times in his last 30 trips to the plate. .433 on base percentage. Boy, had not been used too often early in the year, but picked up, getting more playing time. Stats picking up. Nettles being held at first base by Willie Upshaw with 2 outs. Bottom of the second, no score. Each team with 2 base hits. Now Underwood set. Pitch to White. Curveball line, base hit left field. Nettles holds at second base as Wood will get the ball into the shortstop, the cutoff man, Luis Gomez. Well, the Yankees now runners at first and second, 2 out for Bucky Dent. Dent batting .248, 4 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Against the East, including Toronto, the Yankees have won 48 games and lost 36. Against the West, they've won 46 and lost 26. Of course, they'll play no more Western teams. Line, fly ball down the left field corner. Nettles will score. White digging for third. He's going to be held there. The Yankees lead 1-0. You know, Roy White, Frank, running on that short end, he might have been waved in had he not been struggling a little bit around second base.
He was. He struggled around second, slowed up coming into third, and that was as far as he was going to go. Of course, he had the play in front of him as he went between second and third. I think he slowed up intentionally to keep from re-entering it or aggravating it.
So the Yankees break on top 1-0. A key single by Bucky Dent. Check that, a key double by Bucky Dent. Bucky picking up his 36-run batted in. Here's Rivers. He slides it one to left field. That's going to be a base hit. 2 runs will score, and Rivers will go on to second base. And the Yankees lead 3-0. By Mickey Rivers.
That's exactly what it was, and I'll say Underwood is not the Merlin he was up in Toronto. The Yankees saw him less than a week ago, just a week ago. Remembered what he threw up there less than a week ago. And they're hitting him in this ball game, whereas they could not hit him up there.
Here's Willie Randolph. He struck out on a curveball in the first inning. Underwood sets and deals a curveball. It's too high, ball 1. One thing in the Yankees' favor, Frank Lester, in seeing all these left-handers, the more you see them, the better you hit them. Oh, you get used to that curveball going away from you. Then sometimes you have trouble hitting right-handed. Randolph takes a strike, it's 1-1.
Well, when a right-hander comes on, it's especially tough on the right-hand hitters after seeing so many left-handers. Left-handers sort of welcome right-handers, though. No, they're just waiting on this guy to get to it.
Pitch is inside, it's 2-1. A little tougher pitch to come back out within a week and try to get down with the same stuff, too. 3-0 Yankees, batting bottom of the second. Rivers down at second base, 2 outs. They count 2-1 on Willie Randolph. And the pitch. Inside, ball 3, 3-1. There's a right-hander now getting loose in the Blue Jay bullpen. That looks like Joe Coleman. Throws like Coleman.
Looks like Coleman.
Yep, that's who it is.
It is Coleman.
Could be, might be his, huh? Now Underwood set. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Willie Randolph. Curve on the outside corner, 3-2.
I see they finished 2 in Fenway. The Red Sox lead 3-0 over the Tigers.
All right, Frank. Right here, the Yankees lead 3-0 over Toronto. Still batting in the second. Here's the payoff pitch to Randolph. Swung on, lifted in the air to left center. Al Woods, the left fielder, coming on and calling. He's there and makes the catch. Side is retired. Yankees score 3 times in the second inning, and at the end of 2, the Yankees lead Toronto 3-0.
Let's look at the leading hitters going into action today in the Major Leagues. In the National League, it's Parker of Pittsburgh at 328, Buckner of the Cubs 321, Madlock of the Giants 314, Garvey of the Dodgers 312, along with Clark of the Giants. Cruz of Houston, 311. Winfield of San Diego, 309. His teammate Richards, 1 point back at 308. Barrows, Atlanta, 307. Wasn't too many weeks ago. He was on top. Concepcion of Cincinnati heads up the bottom with 299. In the American League, it's Carew all the way, 337. Oliver, Texas, 321. Jim Rice of the Red Sox, 315. Lou Piniella of the New York Yankees at 313. Roberts of Seattle, 301. So there are only 5 regulars, or at least 425 times at that or more, up among 300 hitters. Just below 300, Yan of Milwaukee, 299. Otis of Kansas City and Ogilvie of Milwaukee, 297. Boswick, or Bostock, the late Lyman Bostock of California, 296. Ron LaFleur of Detroit was a special TV program, movie on tonight about his life. And Munson, the Yankees, also at 294. Home run department, National League Foster, Cincinnati, 35. Lazinski of the Phillies, 32. Smith of the Dodgers and Parker of Pittsburgh, 29. And Kingman of the Cubs, 28. In the American League, Rice of the Red Sox, 43. Baylor of California and Heisel of Milwaukee, 33. And Thornton of the Indians, 32.
The Yankees and the Blue Jays meet again tomorrow and Thursday night at 8 o'clock here at Yankee Stadium. Get your tickets now. Be here to see the Yankees take on the Blue Jays tomorrow and Thursday at 8 o'clock as the Yankees try to wrap up this American League Eastern Division title. If you can't make it tomorrow, Thursday, the Cleveland Indians are in here Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. Bill?
All right, Frank. Luis Gomez takes high from Ed Figueroa, ball 1. Gomez leading off for the Blue Jays in the third inning. The Yankees lead 3-0. 3 runs on 5 base hits for the Yankees. No runs on 2 for the Blue Jays. Gomez takes a slider on the outside corner, 1-1. Gomez batting at 225, but against the Yankees, he's closer to 400. High chopper to short. Dent waits. He'd better hurry. Throws to first base. It got him.
Now 20 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is SCN Radio, 790 Pacific and 1420 Atlantic.
51. Here's the leadoff man, Rick Bosetti, and he takes high, ball one. Look at the age of Luis Gomez. He's 27 years old, Frank. The shortstop. The 1-0 pitch. Line to right center. Rivers on the run, and back cannot get to it. Pinella backing up will get it back in, and Bosetti will have to hold it first base. Good play by Pinella. Rivers gave it an all-out shot, tried to backhand the ball. Ball skipped past him. Pinella backing up, got it into second base.
Outstanding teamwork there. When one fielder will back up the other one, the fielder closest to the ball can gamble on a play like that, knowing that his teammate's going to hold it to one base if it gets by him.
So Bosetti held at first base with a single, third base hit for the Blue Jays against Ted Figueroa. And here's Bob Baylor, the right fielder. He's been out once and bounced out. Chambliss made a good play on his bouncer, going in the hole between first and second and throwing him out, giving the ball to Ed Figueroa. Now Biggie set. And a pitch. Curveball is a strike. Now Biggie's ready again. And the next pitch. Chop to third. Nettles has. To Randolph. There's one back to first. Double play. Quickly 5-4-3. Sides retired. No runs. The base had nobody left. Through 2.5. The Yankees 3. The Blue Jays nothing.
Here's some details on that game at Veterans Stadium. The first of a 20 doubleheader with Montreal. The Bull, Greg Lazinski, drove in 3 runs with a single and his 33rd home run of the season, leading the Philadelphia Phillies to their 6th straight victory, a 5-3 triumph over the Montreal Expos. Momentarily, at least, they are 4.5 in front of Pittsburgh. The magic number for the Phillies is down to 3. Veteran left-hander Jim Cott, former American leaguer, gave up 4 hits over 6 innings to win his 8th game in 13 decisions, the 260th triumph of his career. Consecutive singles by Larry Boa, Gary Maddox, and Lazinski produced the Phil's first run in the opening inning off losing pitcher Dave Palmer, whose record now is 0-1. In the third, Boa beat out an infield chopper and scored ahead of Lazinski's homer into the left field bullpen. In the sixth, Lazinski walked. Richie Hebner was hit by a pitch, and both runners advanced on a ground out. Bob Boone was intentionally walked to load the bases, and pinch hitter Tim McCarver drove in Lazinski with an infield single. Philadelphia added its final run in the eighth when Hebner was hit by another pitch, stole second, went to third on a fly ball, and then scored on Boone's sacrifice fly. The Expos bunched 3 hits in the fifth to score their first run. Chris Spires single, went to second base on Stan Tappy's single, and then scored on Dave Cash's hit. With 2 outs in the ninth, Warren Cromartie struck out, reached first base on the pass ball after Gary Carter and Spire walked. Tappy singled in 2 runs. The first of 2 games at Veterans Stadium, Phillies beat the Expos 5-3.
Hey, Bill, why, speaking of hot dogs, we were a while ago. Did you see that bow Rizzuto took for his birthday greeting?
Yep. Bill was X amount of years old yesterday. Munson drills one deep to left, but Woods is back there, and the left fielder makes the catch. There's one away.
I'll tell you, that's the loudest ovation I've heard here at Yankee Stadium since old-timers days. They put it up there on the message board, and Eddie Layton, our organist, played Happy Birthday and a couple of Italian songs, and Bill Rizzuto got a standing ovation. His birthday was yesterday. Of course, we weren't on the air, didn't get a chance to wish him a happy birthday then.
Well, we'll do it now. Happy birthday to the Scooter. Here's Reggie Jackson. He swings and doesn't get a breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. Yankees trying to give him a birthday present here. They lead 3-0 over the Blue Jays in the third inning. 1 out, nobody on. Underwood rocks the 1-strike pitch to Jackson. The fastball is slow. It's 1-1.
I'll make a bet with you. I bet Scooter can tell us to the exact game the Yankees won and lost record on his birthday. Over the years.
Oh, over the years?
Yeah.
Probably could. No, he can tell you the exact score he shot. 1-1 pitch is a called strike, a ball and 2 strikes on his birthday over the years. Outfield playing deep for Jackson and straight away.
Scooter lives another 30 years, he'll shoot his age.
Bounce to shortstop. Gomez is there, has a big hop. Quick throw to first in plenty of time. 2 outs.
Some of our pregame guests received certificates for dinner for 2 at Victoria Station. Tonight, try a restaurant that's really a cut of...
That's Lou Piniella. The batter, he's been up once and fly to the center fielder, Rick Posetti. Piniella now batting .312. 68 runs batted in. Kneeling on deck is Greg Nettles. Underwood's first pitch. Hit in the air to right field. Right there, though, is Baylor. He'll come in a couple of steps and puts it away, and the side is retired. 3 up and 3 down. And at the end of 3, the Yankees lead the Blue Jays 3-0.
Let's talk a little college football now. Despite Charles White's brilliant performance at Alabama Saturday, University of Southern California football coach John Robinson said today that he doesn't plan to get on his tailback bandwagon for the Heisman Trophy, at least not yet. White, a 5'11", 183-pound junior, helped knock Alabama off its #1 pedestal Saturday by rushing for 199 yards, including 149 in the opening half, in a 24-14 Trojans upset at Birmingham. When you start dealing in superlatives, Robinson said at his weekly breakfast meeting with reporters, you sometimes don't know where to stop. You know, he's the best back in the universe, and he's the best back in the history of the modern world. You get into an almost phony thing, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get us involved in some kind of competitive race for the Heisman Trophy or those kinds of things. 2 other Trojans tailbacks of the past, Mike Garrett in 1965 and O.J. Simpson in 1968, won the Heisman Trophy. Archie Griffin of Ohio State won the Heisman Trophy in 1974 and again in 75. USC's win vaulted it from 7th place into 2nd behind Oklahoma in the UPI coaches ratings this week, while Alabama tumbled from #1 to #7.
Well, Yankees carry a 3-0 lead into the 4th inning, and here to take you over the next 3 innings, Frank Messer.
Okay, Bill White, thank you very much. We'll check the scoreboard as we go along. Boston leads Detroit 3-0 now at the end of 2.5. Baltimore 2, Cleveland 0 at the end of 4.5. Oakland, Chicago, no report. Seattle, Kansas City scoreless at the end of 1. Minnesota failed to score in the first. The Rangers are batting in Texas. Roy Howell up swings at the first pitch, bounces at the first base. Chambliss has it deep, goes to the bag himself as he waves Figueroa. And there's one away here in the 4th. John Mayberry struck out his first trip. Will step in. Over across town at Shea Stadium tonight, the New York Mets lead the St. Louis Cardinals 1-0 at the end of 2. Craig Swan pitching for the Mets. Phillies beat Montreal 5-3 in their first game. No report on the nightcap. First pitch to Mayberry. Curveball is over. Strike 1. In other National League games, Pittsburgh 3, Chicago 0 at the 4. Houston 2, Atlanta 0 at the 4. Dodgers and the Reds are scoreless at the end of 2. Right here, the Yankees lead 3-0 end of 3, and the pitch. Line toward the right field corner. It's fair ball. It's trouble. It is a foul ball. Mayberry lined it into the corner and just foul. Had to be just foul because there is very little foul territory down there. So as Mayberry comes back, gets a new bat after breaking that one, we will personally wish Mr. Rizzuto a happy birthday +1.
Well, thank you, Frank Messer. That was really very nice. I was kind of surprised being a day late and putting it on the board, but have so many fans applauding my birthday. I hope I have a lot more.
Well,
I'll be around a little while.
Somebody's going to tell you what I said, so I might as well tell you to your face. We were wondering if you could remember the Yankee one-loss record over the years on your birthday. I said you probably could. Bill White said if you couldn't, you'd remember your score that you shot every birthday. Mayberry takes high and it's a ball, 1-2. And I had to say this, people are going to tell you, so I'll tell you right now. I said if you lived to be another 30 years, you'd shoot your age. I hope you do both.
I hope so, Frank.
All right, 1-2 to Mayberry. Gets high in the air in a shallow center. Mickey Rivers gallops in, gets under it, and makes the catch. 2 down. The Yankees lead by a score of 3-0. Yankees scored all 3 runs in the second with 1 out. Neville singled to left. Chambliss flied out for a 2 away. Then Roy White singled to left. Bucky Dent doubled to drive in a run, and Mickey Rivers doubled to drive in 2 more. And that's the way we stand here in the top half of the fourth with 2 outs, nobody on, and the batter, Willie Upshaw. Upshaw grounded out to Bucky Dent, his first time up. And the pitch to him is taken low. Upshaw has hit only 1 home run this year, and as I recall, it beat the Yankees a ball game.
Yep.
Figueroa's 1-0 delivery is outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Terrible, but the scoreboard watching is getting to me, Frank. Watching that Boston score, they come up with 3 in the first. The Yankees bounce back with 3.
This ball is hit in the air to right center. Rivers going back. It's deep, but he's going to get there. Makes the catch. Outstanding play by Mickey Rivers. That ball got up and kept right on going, and Rivers outran it. The side is retired at order and a 3.5. Yankees 3, Toronto nothing.
Minnesota Vikings down the previously unbeaten Chicago Bears Monday night, 24-20. The Vikes built up a 14-0 lead before the Bears got on the board with a field goal. The loss was the first this year for the Bears after 3 victories, while the Vikings are now 2-2. Meanwhile, on Monday, the San Diego Chargers named Don Coryell as the new head coach. He replaces Tony Prothero, who resigned on Sunday because he felt a fresh approach was needed. The Chargers' record this year, 1 win and 3 defeats. Other pro items, veteran center Mike Montler has walked down the Detroit Lions. Montler was the only experienced player in Detroit's offensive line. He is the second member of the Lions to walk out in the last couple of weeks. Montler was obtained from Denver during the off-season. Head coach Monty Clark says he's not sure what the reason was. Sixth-year defensive end Ernest Price retired last week. And Dallas coach Tom Landry refuses to get into a personal feud with Washington coach Jack Pardee. Landry believes Pardee is just trying to fire up his team for next Monday night's game. Pardee told reporters the other day that he dislikes the Cowboys and Landry. Today, Landry admitted that one wouldn't like the team that is the number 1 in your division. Landry expects to stir up his team for the Redskins. He says, I guess we feel about the same way they do. We want to beat them. And the Philadelphia Eagles, for the 3rd time this season, have signed veteran punter Mitch Hoop. The signing came after the Eagles released their punter Rich Ingle today.
We go to the bottom half of the fourth. Greg Nuttles has to step back from an inside pitch. Ball 1. Greg singles to left field and scored the Yankees' first run of their 3-run second inning. Left-hand hitter. They play him as a full hitter. And the pitch inside again, almost hit him. Like Underwood's trying to make Nuttles give him the outside half of the plate. He is trying to back him off his first 2 pitches, and he's behind 2 balls and no strikes. Now the left-hander winds and deals, and this one is popped up. Near second base, the shortstop, Gomez, makes the catch, 1 down.
Looked like Greg didn't want to swing at that, Frank. Inside curveball.
And Greg figured that after 2 pitches inside, he was going to curve him away and had his mind made up. 1 out, and Chris Chambliss, the batter, looks one out over the shortstop and the left field base hit. Humpback line drive, fielded by the left fielder Albus Wood, and Chambliss is on. That is the Yankees' 6th hit of the ball game. The batter will be Roy White. Roy had a big hit his first trip. Single to left field. Played a big part in the 3-run second inning. The Yankees lead 3-0. We're now in the 4th. Upshaw will hold Chambliss on at first base. Gomez and McKay at double play depth. Curveball is over. Strike 1. The right fielder straight away, fairly shallow. Center fielder straight away. Left fielder straight away. The third baseman Howell in just about even with the bag. The set by the left-hander Underwood, and the pitch. In the dirt, almost hit Roy on the bounce. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification on the New York Yankee Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is SCN Radio, 794 Clayton and 1424 Davis. 1 minute before 8 o'clock.
Tom Underwood drops the hands to kick the pitch, foul back. Got him in on the hands for the breaking ball. It's 1-2. Bucky Dent is the on-deck hitter. The Yankees' magic number is 6. Any combination of 6 Yankee wins and Red Sox losses would clinch the division. Chambliss leads away at first. Underwood to the belt. The pitch come in. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The series continues here tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And Thursday night at 8 o'clock. 2-2 pitch. Curve down low. The ball count is ball 3, strike 2. We'll see if they have Chambliss moving now. Roy is not running well. He has a tendon injury. Chambliss goes. Pitches hit in the air to right field. Not too deep. And the right fielder Baylor should get it. And he does. Chambliss scoots back to first. There are 2 down. And now Bucky Dance. Bucky doubled to left field, driving in Nettles with the Yankees' first run. Roy White at full speed might have also scored, but Roy pulled up at third and scored a moment later when Rivers doubled. Bucky's 2-base hit was his 11th of the year. He has 36 runs batted in, batting an even .250. The pitch to him. Curve is over at the knees, strike 1. Yankees wind up the season here at home. 3 with Toronto, then 3 with Cleveland. The 0-1 pitch. Hit in the air to left center field. Not too deep. Long run for somebody. The center fielder, Bosetti, is there and makes the one-hand catch. At the end of 4, it's the Yankees 3, the Blue Jays nothing.
There are lots of reasons why the chemistry is just right at Chemical. When a bank has branch managers who go out to the floor to keep the lines down, chemistry is just right. When a bank treats its customers not like... Let's check the rest of the statistics we started a while ago with the home run hitters and the batters. Let's check the RBIs. National League, Parker, Pittsburgh, 114. Foster, Cincinnati, 110. Garvey, the Dodgers, 109. Jack Clark of the Giants has 98. And Winfield of San Diego, 97. Way out in front of the American League and the majors is Jim Rice in the RBI department, 133. Staub of the Tigers, 119. Heisel, Milwaukee, 113. Thornton of Cleveland, 103. And Carty of Oakland, 95. Stolen bases, National League, Marino, Pittsburgh, 68. Lopes of the Dodgers and Tavares of the Pirates, 44. DeJesus of Chicago and Smith of San Diego, 39. American League, LaFleur, Detroit, 67. Cruz of Seattle, 57.
Coming to their hero, Reggie Jackson, the first man ever to hit 5 home runs in one series. He set 9 records last year, and why are you shaking your head?
Well, they're not shouting for Reggie Jackson. They're shouting for Reggie.
Looking at other stats before we go back to the next inning in pitching, National League, Terry of San Diego is 20-6. Hooten of the Dodgers is 19-9. Grimsley of Montreal is 19-10. In the American League, Guidry of the Yankees, 23-3. Caldwell of Milwaukee, 21-9. And Palmer of the Orioles, 20-12.
Well, this Saturday is Fan Appreciation Day. Every fan will get one of those great thermal mugs so popular last year. The mug features a brand new full-color 78 team picture. They'll be sure to be here this Saturday at 2. Frank?
Okay, Scooter, I'm going to plan B here.
I don't think anybody wants to miss these final 6 games.
No, a lot of excitement. Albus Woods leads off the 5th. Takes the pitch outside. Tall, willowy left-hand batter. Bends at the knees, hand at the waist, waiting. Takes low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Woods doubled to left field his first time up. His 12th two-bagger of the year. He's hitting .245. He'll be followed by Alan Ashby and then Dave McKay. 2-0 pitches high for ball 3. The outfield is really spread out for Woods, with Piniella very deep in right field. The infield spreads out. And Figueroa drops one right down the middle, 3-1. 3-1 pitch coming. Strike 2 call. Got the inside corner. Full count. 3-2 on Albus Woods. Blue Jays have 2 Woods. There's Albus and Gary. 3-2 pitch to Albus. It's deep down the left field corner, slicing toward the corner, toward the line. Foul ball. Woods will come back and try again with a 3-2 count. Well, Well, yesterday was Mr. Rizzuto's birthday, and on this day in history, a game that Bill Rizzuto will never forget. Down in Baltimore, the Yankees beat the Orioles 3-2, and the final score was incidental as Wood takes strike three. Final score was incidental because that was the night Roger Maris hit his 60th home run.
Oh, yeah.
Which tied Babe Ruth's record. And, of course, Maris was to go on and hit his 61st. One out as Wood was caught looking for Figueroa's third strikeout, and now Alan Ashby takes a curve over strike call.
Frank, the Red Sox and Tigers have completed 4. It's still 3-0.
Boston.
Yep.
0-1 pitch outside. It's 1-1.
That's not too bad. When they picked up 3 in the first inning, it looked like a rout. So it looks like Rosen has settled down.
Here's the 1-1 delivery, and it's flat foul into the mezzanine on the third base side. Ball and 2 strikes. Montreal and the Phillies scoreless at the end of one in their nightcap. Phillies won the opener 5-3. The Phillies' magic number is now 3. 1-2 pitch. Down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Alan Ashby. Ashby walked in the second. The only base on balls given up by Figueroa. Vicky has allowed 3 hits, and he has struck out 3 men. Yankees have turned 2 double plays behind him. The 2-2 delivery. Bounce to the second baseman, Randolph. He charges, has, and throws in time. 2 outs here in the 5th. And we'll look at the second baseman, Dave McKay.
Frank, we get word that Mike Flanagan, pitching down in Baltimore against Cleveland, has a no-hitter through the first 7 innings.
Wow.
Also, Tug McGraw making his first start for the Phillies in that second game in a long, long time. A lot of oddities tonight. Phil Negro pitching against his brother Joe Negro.
Yeah. Dave McKay takes down low. It's ball 1. You get down late in the season, you see some strange things happening. 1-0 pitch, hit on the ground, right at Willie Randolph. He's up with it, throws on to first at the end of 4.5. The score, New York 3, Toronto nothing.
Another lawsuit filed today in connection with the Muhammad Ali-Leon Spinks heavyweight fight in New Orleans earlier this month. 2 local promoters, Sherman Croppolan and Don Hubbard, are asking $20 million in damages from 2 co-promoters, a newspaper reporter, his publisher, and a camera company that paid for advertising in the Louisiana Superdome. Copeland and Hubbard contend a newspaper article written by Alan Katz of the sports item portrays them as dishonest and thieves. Only Monday, the 2 filed a $15 million slander petition against Bob Arum, the president of Top Rank Incorporated, for remarks he made calling them hoodlums and dangerous people. Earlier today, Spink's lawyers said they will file a multi-million-dollar defamation of character suit against Arum. Another boxing note, former light heavyweight champ John Conte of Britain KO'd Leonardo Roger of the Dominican Republic in the 7th round of their fight in London on Tuesday. Conte hopes the bout will boost his chances for a rematch against reigning WBC champion Mick Polov of Yugoslavia. And a tennis note. The United States has called on a couple of veterans for next month's Davis Cup Interzone tennis finals against Sweden at Gothenburg. Arthur Ashe and Stan Smith will join Vitas Gerulaitis and Dick Stockton on the U.S. team, which will face Bjorn Borg and others. The winners will face either defending champion Australia or Britain in the final.
Mickey Rivers leads off the bottom half of the 5th. Takes the breaking ball down low from Underwood. It's ball 1. Rivers is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. The windup in the next pitch to him on the inside corner for a strike. Rivers is now hitting .267, 24 doubles, 8 triples, 11 homers, and 48 runs batted in. The pitch on the way, low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Yankees lead 3-0. Pitch coming. Curveball is bounced to the first baseman. Taken by Upshaw. He goes to the bag himself, and Rivers is out. Willie Randolph will step in. 0 for 2. Struck out, fly to left. The Yankees have assured themselves of winning the season series from Toronto, holding an 8-4 edge with this game and 2 more to play. Curveball is fouled into the seats beyond the Yankee dugout. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, it'll be Kent Fishhunter for the Yankees and Mike Willis, a left-hander, for Toronto. 0-1 pitch. Curveball is now down the third base side of the mound, picked up by the pitcher Underwood. He throws and gets him. Randolph is out 1-3. Thursday night at 8 o'clock, Jim Beattie will go for the Yankees against another Toronto left-hander, Baylor Moore. Oh, that has changed, I am told. It'll be Guidry pitching Thursday. Ron Guidry pitches Thursday, so scratch Beattie and make it Guidry on Thursday for the Yankees.
I think that's a smart move, Frank. In the event there is a playoff, he would be ready for that big, important game in Boston.
Pitch to Munson is taken low for a ball. Berman is 0 for 2. He's fly to center and line to left. If there should have to be a playoff between the Yankees and the Red Sox, it would be on Monday. So that would give Guidry 3 days rest. 1-0 pitch is high.
And, of course, it'd be perfect if there were no playoff, because then he could open Tuesday against Kansas City.
2-0 delivery, high outside. It's ball 3. Two outs and nobody on. Yankees lead 3-0, and Munson looks at a strike. It's 3-1. Reggie Jackson is on deck. Now a brief timeout as the pitcher Underwood tied his shoelace. Guy straightens up, looks into Ashby, has the sign. 3-1 pitch, foul back, 3-2. The Blue Jays do not punch the outfield as much on Munson as most teams do. The right fielder, Baylor, plays him pretty much straight away. Most teams, the right fielder will play over in the gap in right center. 3-2 pitch now. Curve is in for a called strike 3. At the end of 5, the score, Yankees 3, Toronto nothing.
Some more tennis items. Jimmy Connors defeated Bjorn Borg 5-7, 6-3, 6-3 Monday night to capture the tennis tournament at Buenos Aires. It was a repeat of the U.S. Open final earlier this month in New York. Borg's play deteriorated near the end of the second set. Apparently upset by a noisy crowd and questionable line calls, he lost 3 services on double faults. Meanwhile, Ilie Nastase whipped Jose Luis Clerc for third place in the 4-man competition. Connors, by the way, has sidestepped Davis Cup action again, so the U.S. named 4 other men today to take on Sweden next month. The team captain, Tony Trabert, selected Arthur Ashe, Stan Smith, Vitas Gerulaitis, and Dick Stockton to meet the Swede. We told you a little bit about that a while ago. And it'll be the turn of the National Collegiate Athletic Association to go on the offensive Wednesday in Washington. NCAA official will testify before a House subcommittee that's been investigating NCAA practices and listening to a number of unfriendly witnesses. The first witnesses for the NCAA will be J. Niels Thompson of the University of Texas, the president of the organization, and executive director Walter Byers. Should be getting in some more results of the Red Sox-Detroit game at Fenway Park. Last time we heard, Red Sox were in front, I believe it was 4-0, given there a moment ago by Frank Messer. And we'll check the wires for a further score. That game started 30 minutes before our game. It's about an hour and 45 minutes old, so they should be somewhere at least around the 6th inning by now. Our game, the Yankees in front by 3 runs, 3-0 on Toronto. The Blue Jays set to come up in the top half of the 6th inning. On Wednesday, the Yankees will send to the mound Jim Catfish Hunter, 11-5, to oppose the Blue Jays' Mike Willis, who's 3-6. The Red Sox tomorrow night will have Louis Tiant on the mound. He is 11-8. The Detroit Tigers will counter with Milt Wilcox, who is 13-11.
Luis Gomez will lead off the 6th inning for the Blue Jays. Right-hand hitting shortstop, grounded out to Bucky Dad his first time up. The Yankees, with good defense in the ball game, have turned 2 double plays behind Figueroa. First pitch to Gomez, upside. The Yankees are second in the league in defense with a .981 fielding percentage. The Orioles are the leading defensive team, as they usually are in the American League, with a fielding percentage of .983. has a fastball for a strike, 1-1. The Yankees on the year committed only 110 errors. Only the Orioles had fewer. The 1-1 pitch. Low, 2-1.
You ever see such a shallow outfield, Frank?
Well, they really are.
Right in back of the infield. Vanilla White and Rivers.
2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground, 1 hop to Bucky down at shortstop. He sets and throws on to first in time. See, a little bit embarrassing. What if for a hitter to come up there and see the outfielders that
Oh, yeah. Did it? Never played that shallow for me. Hey, I hear that the White Sox brought up a kid 5 feet 2 inches tall. Did you see that? A third baseman, 5 feet 2 inches tall. I can't believe anybody's smaller than Freddie Patek.
That's too small for me to see. No, I didn't see it. Here's Rick Mosetti, 1 for 2. Right hand hitting center fielder. And he ran up to bunt, took the bat away from a ball up high. No, I really didn't hear about that. 5-2, huh?
5-2.
I hope it's true. You know, we talk about baseball, that size does not limit you to the game. High fly ball is hit into center field. Mickey Rivers camps under it, and he makes the catch. Hey, Thurman Munson, as Mosetti flipped his bat straight up in the air at the plate, almost hit Thurman. Thurman picked the bat up and threw it way down the first base line.
Hello, boys. Thurman.
There goes the helmet now. It's failed, but that is not in disgust. He's just getting rid of it. When he swung at that pitch, hit it in the air. He flipped his bat straight up in the air. It didn't come that close to hitting Thurman. It hit in his vicinity, though. He didn't like it. Pitch is inside to Bob Baylor. Baylor is grounded out to Chambliss on an excellent play and grounded into a double play. Ball 2 is tied. Balls and no strikes. Mosetti had not been hot dogging quite as much. Thurman probably would have tossed that bat over towards the dugout for him.
Yeah, I didn't realize Rick was that much of a hot dog.
Ground ball is hit to short. Bucky Dent scoops it up, throws on to first to retire the side. We've completed 5 1/2. It's New York 3, Toronto nothing.
Let's check the scoreboard, mainly for that one ball game in the American League at Fenway Park. It is 3-0. Red Sox over the Tigers after 2.5 innings of play. In the National League, again, the first game final, the Phillies beat Montreal 5-3. We have the starters for the second game at Veterans Stadium. Rudy May for the Expos and Tug McGraw for the Phils. Pittsburgh leads the Chicago Cubs after 4 innings of play, 3-0. Home run Willie Stargell for the Bucks in the third with 2 on his 26th of the year. After 1, the Mets lead the Cardinals 1-0. After 4, it's Houston 2, Atlanta 0. Joe Niekro pitching for the Astros against his brother Phil for the Braves. Half inning, the Dodgers 0. The Reds coming to bat. It's Tom Seaver looking for a 16th victory for Cincinnati. Rick Rosen for the Dodgers. Minnesota and Texas. Minnesota failed to score in the top of the first. It's Jeff Zan versus Doc Medich. Well, the Yankees are coming. That's right. The world champion Yankees are coming. You can see your favorite players this Wednesday through Friday between 2 and 4 p.m. at the Martin Brothers stores. And some more scores now at 1 inning of play. No score between Seattle and Kansas City. Glenn Abbott pitching for the Mariners. Larry Guerra for Kansas City. And quarterback Dan Pastorini skipped the Houston Oilers workout today after being criticized for his play calling in Sunday's loss to Los Angeles. Coach Bum Phillips classifies Pastorini's absence as a minor problem, saying not much goes on in a Tuesday workout. Asked about Wednesday, Phillips says that's different, but he adds he doesn't anticipate a problem. The coach adds, I think Dan knows that 44 individuals are more important than one, and what is best for the team is for him to come back.
All right, Phil. Reggie Jackson rips a ground ball to the right side, fielded by McKay, who puts him out easily. And there's one away here in the bottom half of the 6th. And now Lou Piniella. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the second, and since then have not come close to scoring. The Yankees manufactured those 3 runs on a 1-out single by Nettles, a 2-out single by Roy White, a double by Bucky Dent to drive in 1, and then a double by Mickey Rivers to drive in the other 2. Pinella's up for the 3rd time. He is lined out to Mosetti in center and flied out to Baylor in right. First pitch, curveball is fouled back. Lou is hitting .311.
Rice has hit number 44 in the year, Frank, in the fifth with a man on, so the Red Sox lead at least 5-0.
Wow. 0-1 to Lou. Slow curve is line foul. Pulled it down the left side and foul. Tried to wait on it, but still got just a little bit too much in front of it. No ball, 2-strike count. Greg Nettles is on deck. The Yankees lead 3-0, bottom half of the sixth. Tom Underwood. Into the wide, the 0-2 pitch. It's back up the middle, base hit. He shuts down Gomez to his left, could not quite reach it, and Pinella is on with a one-out single. That is the Yankees' seventh hit of the ball game. Greg Nettles, the batter. Greg is single and scored and popped up to the shortstop. Greg is hitting .275 and a chance to have his best year ever average-wise. The pitch to him. Ripped down the first baseline, base hit. It got by Upshaw down toward the corner. Pinella running hard on his way to third. Nettles going to second base. Here comes Pinella. He's going to try to score. Relay to the plate. He scores. Schroeder, no throw to third. Nettles on to third base without a throw. The Yankees lead 4-0. We'll see what they credit Nettles with, whether a double and a third on the throw or a triple. A triple for Greg Nettles. 3-base hit for Nettles, his second triple of the year. He now has 89 runs batted in on the season. And time is called as the pitching coach Miller goes out to the mound. There is a break in the action with a score. The Yankees 4, the Blue Jays nothing.
Another football item. The Cleveland Browns have signed veteran running back Calvin Hill to bolster their injury-depleted backfield. The Browns lost Tom Sullivan for the season in last Sunday's loss to Pittsburgh. We'll chat more about that story next break we have. Take a look at the scoreboard while they're huddling out on the mound, as we told you. In the fifth inning, Jim Rice hits home at number 44 in the year with a man on. Red Sox lead 5-0. That's Rosemer against Dennis Eckersley. At the end of 7, Baltimore 2, Cleveland nothing. Mike Flanagan, 18-14, has a no-hitter through the first 7 innings. Oakland nothing, White Sox nothing into 1. Seattle nothing, Kansas City nothing into 3. Minnesota nothing, Texas nothing at the end of an inning and a half. Milwaukee at California later on.
The left fielder, Elvis Woods, is playing very shallow for Chambliss. The center fielder, Bosetti, straight away, and Baylor straight away and right. Curve is inside. The count is 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 on Chambliss. Roy White is on deck. Now the set by the left-hander Underwood. 3-1 pitch. Chris swings and misses. 3-2. Walks off a short lead at third base. Underwood from the set position, 3-2 pitch is bounced one hop to the first baseman Upshaw. He holds Nettles with a look and goes for the bag to get Chambliss. 2 out. Nettles forced to stay at third. And the batter will be Roy White. Roy has singled and flied to right. He has also scored a run. The Yankees lead 4-0 within the 6th inning here at the stadium. Back now with 2 outs. The set and the pitch. Popped up out behind second base. The shortstop and the second baseman. Now McKay, the second baseman, calls and makes the catch to retire the side. The Yankees get one and leave one at the end of 6. Yankees 4, Toronto nothing.
More on the signing of running back Calvin Hill today by the Cleveland Browns. The Browns lost Tom Sullivan for the season in last Sunday's loss to Pittsburgh. Greg Pruitt is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Houston Oilers. Hill is 30 years old. He was released by the Washington Redskins just before the start of this season. He was the NFL's Rookie of the Year with the Dallas Cowboys in 1969. Meanwhile, Cincinnati Bengals general manager Paul Brown has given winless coach Bill Johnson a vote of confidence. Brown was asked about Johnson's status, and he would only say that he's the coach. Brown points out that the team is just now getting key players back from injuries. The key player returning is quarterback Ken Anderson, who has been sidelined since suffering a broken right index finger in the last preseason game. Johnson says Anderson will be closely watched this week in practice to see if his finger has mended enough to take center snap. And let's check again. Maybe you missed perhaps some of the games we mentioned earlier coming up in college football this week. Stanford meets Tulane. They're about a 2-touchdown favorite. California meets West Virginia. It's Southern Cal and Michigan State. High-scoring Washington State plays Army. Oregon meets Tennessee. Colgate tackles Cornell. It'll be Nebraska and Indiana, Maryland and Kentucky, Michigan and Duke, Notre Dame and Purdue, Ohio State versus Baylor. And Pittsburgh plays North Carolina, just to mention a few.
Through 6 innings, the Yankees 4 runs, 8 hits. The Blue Jays no runs, 3 hits. We go to the 7th here at Yankee Stadium, and on with the play-by-play, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. Roy Howell has singled and bounced to first. Figueroa has retired 11 in a row now since the single by Bosetti in the third. And the pitch to Howell hits the outside corner, strike one call. By the way, Mike Flanagan has a no-hitter through 8 innings down in Baltimore, pitching against the Cleveland Indians. 3 outs to go. Curve is outside, 1-1. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, Frank Messer that's bound to give me tongue-tied. That uniform I got on there, Messer. Looks like a tent. Omar the tent maker made it. That pitch is high, 3-1.
Somebody sent me that picture in the mail. I tell you what brought that on. It's that outfit you wore for television one night with a purple shirt, blue pants, a pink jacket, and an orange necktie. At all plaids.
One's as bad as the other. Picture of Willie Mays stealing second in the 1951 World Series. All right, the 3-1 pitch to Howell. Foul over our heads, out of play, 3-2. Then you hear the moan of disappointment by the fans as an upper deck fan lost it and came back onto the field. They do not like to lose souvenirs. Full count. Biggie winds the pitch deep to right field. That ball's gone if it's there. And it's just foul. Holy cow, was that close? That couldn't have been more than inches from being a home run deep down the right field line. So Howell comes back. Figueroa breathes a sigh of relief. So does Fran Haley as he slides into the booth. I thought that was gone, Francis.
I did too, Scooter.
Again the pitch. Hard ground ball. One-handed by Chambliss. He makes the unassisted put out. And there's one away. Right now 20 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is SCN Radio, 790 Pacific and 1420 Atlantic.
It's 8:29.
Big John Mayberry, who has struck out and fly to center, takes the pitch low, ball 1. Yankees lead 4-0 in the top of the 7th. The kick and the pitch outside, 2-0. Well, the Yankees keep on winning, Fran Haley, and there's nothing the Red Sox can do, even though they score a lot of runs. Uh-oh, there's a home run. A line drive into the right field seats, right over the 310-foot sign. Figueroa got away with one to Howell, but not that one.
That's true, so what happened was Figueroa threw that fastball, trying to get it inside on Mayberry. Not inside good enough. Mayberry hammered that ball. Line drive over the 310 mark in right field. Still, I've seen him do it many times.
I tried with Kansas City when he was hot.
Right, the best thing to do with this ball club is pitching around Mayberry, especially your men on base.
Absolutely. That's his 22nd home run and 70th run batted into the air. Yankees now lead 4-1. And there's a fly ball to left field hit by Willie Upshaw. Roy White is right there. Makes the catch, and there are 2 away. And that will bring up Al Woods, who has double a left and struck out. Fran Haley, would you believe that I received a letter from some people in County Cork, Ireland, that heard us on Armed Forces Radio?
County Cork.
And they fell in love with your voice.
Aaron Gobra.
Which means ball 1 outside.
I hope it's not obscene. I think it means Arlen forever.
Okay. But that is unusual. The 1-0 pitch is a ground ball to second. Foulable by Randolph. Up throw to first. They got him. A hard smash that Willie got in front with his body. Knocked it down, picked it up, threw him out. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 6 1/2, Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 1.
Ace right-hander Dennis Leonard of the Kansas City Royals would just as soon forget his personal performance during the 1978 season, except that he has recorded his second straight 20-victory season. Leonard became the first player in Royals history to post 2 20-win seasons with a 6-hit, 7-2 victory over the Seattle Mariners Monday night, enabling Kansas City to clinch at least a tie for the American League Western Division title. The Royals can clinch their third straight Western Division crown with one more win over their final 5 games, or one more loss by the second-place California Angels. Said Leonard, it's nice to win 20, but it meant more last year. I was 20-12 then. This year I'm 20-17. I only consider that 3 games over 500. I guess it's better than being 18-18, though. Leonard, for the second straight year, became a dreadfully slow start. He was 3-8 on June 1st to reach the 20-win plateau. He did it on his club record 39th start with his 20th complete game and 4th straight victory. At home, however, Leonard is 15-5 with 12 complete games this season. Says Leonard, I think next year I'll show up in July and only pitch at home. The fences are farther back there. Here, rather. You give us more hits here, but there are more fly ball out. You can afford to pitch high. You can get hit hard here, and the ball will still go out, but not as often as in some other parts. This from 20-game winner Dennis Leonard, a fine pitcher for the Kansas City Royals.
Okay, Bucky Dent will lead it off here for the Yankees. Bottom of the 7th inning. And then they'll go to the top of the order, Mickey Rivers and Willie Randa. Sure, I got to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
How old are you?
You never asked. That is a very bad question to ask.
I think you look good.
For my age, right? Bucky Dent takes the curve over strike one call. Dent has doubled and scored, driven in a run, and also flied to center. Tom Underwood been in there all the way, and a fastball hit in the air to right center. Moving quickly, Bassetti, and the cop. What a hot dog. A great play, but he catches the ball and then slides along the grass. He's made a few like that tonight. Tips his hat. The fans in the bleachers really getting on him, and Bassetti just turns around, grins, tips his hat. Very colorful out there.
It certainly is. I was going to get on his nationality, but I better not. I watched that show on TV.
Oh, I know which one you mean. Time has been called. Mickey Rivers is scheduled at bat. We might have a pinch hitter. Or Mick might be in for some repairs. And he is in for repairs because here comes a guy twice the size of Rivers to bat.
Cliff Johnson. For Cliff. Excellent pinch hitting record. 12 pinch hit home runs.
No, not this year.
In his career.
Oh, okay.
Let me give you the whole thing there. Within his career. And Cliff this year batting 185 with 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, a dramatic pinch hit home run.
Oh, yes. Boy, I tell you, I know all the Yankee fans do it, and I do it. I go back and think of games that we won by breaks or a home run, and then you think of games we lost by tough breaks, like the collision with Blair and Jackson out in Kansas City. I still have nightmares about that one.
Right, and how about the rainout?
Oh, the pitch to Cliff Johnson low. Mickey Rivers, by the way, had single, double, bounced to first, and driven in 2 big runs. On the corner, 1-1, and we're just reminded that this is the crew that called that game. Are you sure? Down in Baltimore. When the Yankees picked up 5 runs, but it reverted to the previous inning. That's low, 2 balls and a strike. But it all boils down, as the song says, to a precious few in the month of September.
Oh.
September song. Curve line caught by the third baseman, Howell. Look at Cliff Johnson holding his head. A line drive that Howell leaped and grabbed. 2 out.
Phil, Cliff does that job so very well, pinch hit, and he knows what he has to do. He goes to the plate, and he goes to the plate swinging the bat. Very, very important. Right there, you know, line drive off a curveball right at Howell.
All right, Willie Randolph 0 for 3. Willie has struck out, fly to left, hit to the box, and takes a curve low, ball 1. Yankees leading 4-1. Any word on that no-hitter by Flanagan? The Tigers failed to score in the top of the 6th. Red Sox still lead 5-0. Foul out of play in the upper deck. I know Flanagan's at Baltimore. I scared for him. Flanagan has a no-hitter. High fly, shallow right. Cutting in Bob Baylor, the right fielder, stops and makes the catch. The Yankees get down in order. And at the end of 7, the Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 1.
Game moving right along. Red Sox winning 3-0 last time we heard, and of course the Yankees ahead by 3 runs. Oklahoma, which feasted on Rice last Saturday, used that one-sided 66-7 triumph and Southern California's upset of Alabama to take over the number 1 ranking Monday in the UPI Board of Coaches college football rating. And the first change in the top spot since Alabama was named number 1 in preseason, Oklahoma received 25 first-place votes and 558 points to easily outdistance runner-up Southern California. The Trojans, a 24-14 victor over previously top-ranked Alabama, drew 7 first-place votes and 516 points to move up 5 spots from last week. Michigan, which conquered Notre Dame 28-14, squeaked past Arkansas for the number 3 spot. The Wolverines received 3 first-place votes and 499 points, and Arkansas, a 19-7 winner over Oklahoma State, also grabbed 3 first-place votes and 461 points. Penn State, boosting its record to 4-0 with a 26-21 victory over Southern Methodist, dropped 1 notch, number 5. And Texas held on to the number 6 spot following a 17-3 victory over Wyoming. Alabama, meanwhile, dropped to number 7 after its first loss in 3 games, and the Texas Aggies, continuing its steady rise in the ratings, moved up 2 places to number 8 after a convincing 37-2 win over Boston College.
Okay, Paul Blair, center field for the New York Yankees. Paul Blair gets loose and Figueroa gets loose. We'll take a look at the scoreboard. Phil told you it's Boston 5, Detroit nothing in the middle of the 6th inning. In Boston, Jim Rice's 44th home run of the year. That's the most by any Red Sox since Carl Yastrzemski at 44 in 1967. Baltimore 2, Cleveland nothing after 7.5. Oakland and Chicago no score after 1. Seattle 1, the Royals nothing after 4.5. Leon Roberts was 22nd home run of the year. Minnesota and Texas no score after 3.5. Milwaukee, California, a later start. The National League, the Cards 1, the Mets 1 after 5 innings. Final score, the Phillies 5, Montreal 3. First game of 2, and the second game is nothing after 2.5. Phil?
All right, Alan Ashby takes the curve outside.
The Pirates 5, Chicago nothing after 6 innings. Stargell with his 26th home run.
Low 2-0.
Houston and Atlanta. It's the Astros 2, the Braves nothing after 7 innings. Cincinnati 4, the Dodgers nothing after 4.5.
All right, here the Yankees lead 4-1, and that pitch is high to Alan Ashby. 3 balls, no strikes. Figueroa has had excellent control tonight. He walked 1 man. That was Ashby back in the 2nd inning, and he walks Ashby again here in the 8th inning. And a little stirring around going on in the bullpen and the dugout. And Dick Hauser now is moving the Yankees defensively. He moves Chamberlain back of Ashby at first. As Dave McKay comes on, he bounced into a double play and bounced to second.
So you notice how the Yankees use the phone here in New York. They got Bill Kane on the telephone, Yogi Berra, and also sitting with Bill Kane, Ernie Tebbett.
Oh, they're bringing the big guns in, huh?
Yep.
Pitch to McKay is over, strike 1 call. Ernie Tebbett.
My first manager.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Outstanding catcher. I played against 30 many years and played on teams he managed. Played against him. Count is 1-1 to McKay. Matter of fact, Bertie was catching for the Red Sox in 49 when they came in with a 1-game lead, 2 games to play.
Is that right?
He was really popping off, and we beat him the last 2 games. Outside 2-1. Well, the Goose is up in the bullpen. Bob Lemon taking no chances of this game slipping away with the Yankees having a 3-run lead in the top of the 8th. Ashby at first, nobody out. 2-1 count to McKay. The pitch, ground ball, could be 2. Randolph to Dent. Back to first, the third double play for the Yankees. Oh, I said to the defense is sparkling tonight.
Still a pitcher's delight right there. The old 4-6-3 double play, and very important because Willie Horton is now stepping in for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Horton can hit the ball the other way hard enough to hit it in the seats in Yankee Stadium.
Right. And the Yankees breathe a sigh of relief. Nobody on out. Even if he hits one out, it'll be 4-2. 2 out, nobody on. Pitch to Willie. Curve over, strike call. Horton batting .255. Really, the Yankee pitchers did some job. Willie Horton in that doubleheader, they struck him out 6 times. With breaking pitches just like that. Fastball is down low, 1-1.
And of course, Horton is a good fastball hitter, so if he can get the breaking ball over to Horton, he's in trouble. But a good hitter throughout his career, especially with the Detroit Tigers.
All right, there's a foul upstairs and out of play. Mark Wiley and Victor Cruz, 2 right-handers in the Blue Jay bullpen. The way they're throwing, Underwood might not come out for the bottom of the 8th. The 1-2 pitch, a curve, just missed the outside corner. 2-2. Figueroa's 2-2 delivery. Strike 3. Ford looking. 4th strikeout for Figgy. Nothing across at the end of 7.5. Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 1.
Well, for Cincinnati Reds third baseman Pete Rose, his day off was one he'll likely to remember for quite a while. Accompanied by his daughter Fawn and son Pete Jr., Rose went to Washington on Monday to be honored with congressional resolutions celebrating his 44-game hitting streak of midsummer, second longest in baseball history, and achieving his 3,000th base hit during the current season. Rose also won applause from President Carter, who told him, "I am proud you came by." Rose described his brief Oval Office meeting with Carter as very exciting. A visit with Carter was a bonus arranged by Ohio Congressman Thomas Lucan, who escorted Rose to the White House. From the White House, Rose traveled to Capitol Hill, where there were speeches in his praise in the House. Later, Lucan presented Rose a plaque with a text of a Congress Salutes Pete Rose resolution on one side and a picture of him hitting in his 44th straight game on the other. Well, Larry Bowa has played practically every inning of 150 of the Philadelphia Phillies' 155 games this year. He's starting to feel it, but the festy 158-pound shortstop isn't about to give in now, especially after his game-winning single in the 12th inning Monday night to give the Phillies a 3-2 victory over the Montreal Expos, reduced the magic number for their third straight National League East crown to 4. And, of course, winning the first of 2 games against the Expos tonight, the magic number is down to 3. Bowa said, "My legs ache. Everything else aches when I get up in the morning, but I forget it when the game starts."
Okay, Catfish Hunter will be the pitcher tomorrow night against the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, as for the Blue Jays, then Thursday night will be Guidry against Taylor Moore. Phil?
All right. Barry Munson 0 for 3 tonight. His fly to center, fly to left, and was called out on strike. Thurman batting .293. Underwood kicks, delivers hard line drive right at Howell on his knees. He grabs it. 1 away. And now Reggie Jackson. That's a tough way to lose a no-hitter. And a shutout all in one fell swoop. Reggie Jackson hits a high fly to shallow left. Coming on now, Woods. And Woods, the left fielder, makes the catch, 2 out.
So Mike Flanagan pitched 8 2/3 innings of no-hit ball. Gary Alexander, the catcher with the Cleveland Indians, hit a home run to break up the no-hitter.
They're still batting in the top of the 9th.
Still batting, but and Baltimore with the lead 2-1 over Cleveland. Of course, still when you if somebody just trickled the ball through the infield, I would find that more difficult to accept if I was a pitcher.
I think so, yes. All right, here's Lou Piniella. Line to center, fly to right, single to center, and scored. Lou batting .313. There's a base hit, the opposite field, a bullet. Taylor over and up with it, and Piniella gets that batting average up even higher. Sweet Lou, 2 for 4 in the night.
And Phil Underwood made a pretty good pitch on Piniella. He get the ball out over the plate. Piniella hit the ball hard in the right field. And once again, we mentioned the rotation for the Yankees will be Catfish Hunter tomorrow night, and then Ron Guidry on Thursday night against the Blue Jays. Of course, Guidry almost a shoo-in for the Cy Young Award, and I've got to believe if the Yankees win it, he deserves the MVP.
Yeah, Frank and I had a long discussion about that in Cleveland.
Did you? Well, there's precedent set. Denny McClain, 68, won both awards. Vida Blue, 1971, he won both awards.
All right, the pitch to Nettles is a foul back and out of play. Strike one. Nettles has singled and scored, popped to short, triple to right to drive in a run.
Okay, after 6 innings of play in Boston, it's Boston 6, Detroit nothing. Just to complete this, Phil, in the National League, Don Newcomb, 1956, Sandy Koufax, 1963, and Bob Gibson, 1968. They won the MVP and Cy Young Award.
All right, 2 men out. The Yankees lead here 4-1. Piniella with a short lead at first base. Underwood kicks, and the fastball is hit high in the air to left center. Al Woods, the left fielder, under it, and makes the catch. The Yankees are retired. No runs are hit, no errors. A man left at the end of 8. Yankees 4, Toronto 1.
Former heavyweight champion Leon Spinks is attempting to sever his connection with Top Rank Incorporated. The promoters of his fight with Muhammad Ali, Spinks and his attorney, Edward Bell of Detroit, disclosed the move on Monday from the Miami Beach home of fight promoter Don King, who said he and Spinks had made a verbal agreement to work together in the future. Bell said he and Spinks have sent a severance letter to Bob Arum of Top Rank based on Arum's remarks about Spinks following the New Orleans fight against Ali, in which Spinks lost his World Boxing Association title. 2 members of the Denver Broncos cheerleading squad were fired the other day because of their arrest by police last week. Pam Stockhouse, general manager of the Pony Express Club, said that cheerleaders Diane Miller and Vicki Lundock were fired because, quote, their activities have resulted in negative publicity for all members of the group. The 2 were arrested last Wednesday after Miller allegedly picked the pocket of a police officer posing as a drunk lying in the street. Lundock was in a nearby car. No charges were filed against either women. Stockhouse said the conduct of the women went against the standards of the cheerleading club. Nothing more on the Boston Red Sox. They look like they've got that ball game in hand. And, of course, the Yankees look like they have this one pretty well under control, too, as we get to late in the ball game, as we return now back to Yankee Stadium.
A reminder, the Yankees close out the regular season hosting the Cleveland Indians this weekend. Those games are Friday night at 8 and Saturday, which is Fan Appreciation Day, and Sunday afternoons at 2. Be here to see Buddy Bell, Andre Thornton, and Rick Manning. Bill?
All right, friend. Rick Bassetti, the leadoff man, is 1 for 3 on the night. Takes a curve in there, strike call. Bassetti has struck out, single to right center, and fly to center. Ed Figueroa kicks, delivers a curve, bounce foul outside of third, strike 2. On deck is Bob Bella. Here's Figueroa, tries to get him to nibble. He winds. And right back through the middle. Now he threw a fastball right down the pipe. And Bassetti hits a line single to center field. Ahead on the count 0-2. That's base hit number 5 off Figueroa. Brings up Bob Baylor. Bounced to first. Chambliss made a good play. Hit into a double play. Nettles made a great play and bounced to short.
Gossage and Tidrow throwing in the Yankee bullpen.
All right, Bob Baylor. That weird stance, open stance, then falls right into the pitch. And takes the strike. A fastball knee high.
Baylor told me that stance there keeps him from bailing out. Very unusual. He starts bailing out and then walks right into the pitch.
I know it. That's why he almost gets hit on inside pitches. And he looped one and left for a base hit. It was right in on the hand. Hit it hard enough to get over the infield. Runners at first and second with nobody out. And here comes Bob Lemon.
Well, it's always the most important thing in any inning of any ball game is to get the first batter. Keep him off the bases. Right now, the Blue Jays led off with Rossetti a single. Now Bob Baylor. And Lemon watched him out. He goes to the bullpen. And as he goes to the bullpen, we'll take a break in the action. With the score, the Yankees 4, the Blue Jays 1.
The Yankees announced today that they're accepting mail orders for World Series tickets. This is subject to their playing in the series, of course, which means they have to win on the American League East and survive a playoff against the Western champions. With the World Series due to open the city, the National League champs October 10th, the 3 games the American League is scheduled for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 13th, 14th, 15th of October.
Ball's in the right-hander. The Goose Rich got the fan. Applaud as Ed Figueroa walks off the mound. Figueroa allowed 1 run in 6 hits. It's a fine ball game here tonight. And the Yankee players standing, giving Figueroa a hand. Of course, that's why Bob Lemon has the bullpen to bring him in a situation like this, and he will bring in a very effective pitcher in Rich Gossett. Gossett earned the year, 10 wins, 11 losses, 1.94 ERA, and a league-leading 24 saves. As the Goose takes the ball from Bob Lemon. Reminder, now is the time to start thinking about season tickets for the 1979 Yankee games. Be assured of the best seats for all the action next season by having your own full season or combination plan. For more information, call Group and Season Sales at 212-293-6000. That number again is 212-293-6000. Okay, let's take a look at the scoreboard. In the National League, Philadelphia won the first game of a doubleheader, 5-3 over Montreal. In the second game, Montreal leads Philadelphia 1-0 after 4.5. It's Pittsburgh 5, Chicago 2 after 7. Houston 2, Atlanta 0 after 8. Cincinnati 6, Los Angeles 1 after 6. The Mets 3, the Cards 1, that's after 7 innings. And the American League, a score we are watching closely from Boston. The Red Sox 6, Detroit 0. The middle of the 7th inning, Jim Rice is 44th home run of the year. We told you the story in Baltimore. Mike Flanagan had a no-hitter for 8 2/3 innings before Gary Alexander hit a home run for the Indians. The Indians still batting in the top of the 9th. The Orioles ahead 3 to at least 1. Cleveland and Oakland and Chicago, no score after 1. Phil?
All right, got this first pitch low and inside to Roy Howell. Ball 1. Howell is single, bounced to first twice. Nobody out in the top of the 9th. Runners at first and second. Fastball foul, back and out of play, 1-1. All right, Gossage gets a new baseball. On deck, Big John Mayberry. The Goose to the belt. The pitch just outside, 2-1. Rossetti at second. Baylor over at first. Nobody out. Gossage set. And the pitch swing and a miss at a blazer, 2-2. As Dick Hauser wants to move Paul Blair. And now Blair sees him. And now he wants Pinella to move a little towards right center. Figuring that Howell will not pull Gossage. The 2-2 pitch. High fly ball. Pinella got room. Both runners tagging up. And Pinella wisely throws in at second base. They let Rossetti go to third. He would have made it anyway. But they hold that runner at first, and they got a chance for the double play. Had to hold my breath for just a second, Fran, as that ball went up in the air.
Yes, Howell had a good swing of that ball. And Howell, a good fastball hitter. Of course, anytime you have a fastball hitter against Gossage, strength against strength.
All right, one big out. Runners at first and third. John Mayberry, who has struck out fly to center and lined a home run into the lower deck in right field.
Mayberry takes a couple of practice swings. Now back in the batter's box. Pounds the bat on the plate. Runners lead at first and third. The pitch to Mayberry. Swing and a foul tip. Strike one. Gossage kept that fastball down low. White, Blair, and Piniella deep in the outfield. A foul backing out of play. 2 quick strikes on Mayberry. On deck, Willie Upshaw. Yankee fans starting the rhythmic applause. Gossage set. And then Mayberry asks for time. All right, now we're ready to go again. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So I mentioned before, anytime you have Mayberry up there with men on base, it sets the pitch around him. But right here, Gossage has to go after him.
Yep, can't afford to put him on, bring the go-ahead run to the plate. The pitch, line drive right at Randolph, double play, the ball game is over. Holy cow, the 4th double play of the ball game for the Yankees. And Gossage being congratulated. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, a man left. The final score, the Yankees 4, Toronto 1, and the Red Sox got to really be a little frustrated up in Fenway Park, Fran Healy.
They really do. So, of course, they had to raise Dennis Eckersley going into that ball game in Boston. With this win here, the Yankees have 95 wins, 62 losses. It looks like Boston will win that ball game in Boston. That'll be 94 and 63. Again, going into tomorrow's action, the Yankees will have a 1-game lead over the Red Sox.
And in tomorrow night's game, again, it'll be for the Yankees, it'll be Jim Catfish Hunter, hoping to keep that 1-game lead. Should be an exciting ball game tomorrow night as well as tonight. The Yankees have won theirs. The Red Sox, as mentioned by Phil Rizzuto, looks like they're in also in theirs. This broadcast was authorized under rights granted by the Toronto Blue Jays and New York Yankees. It was intended solely for the entertainment of the AFRTS listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and account of this game without the express written permission of the Blue Jays and Yankees is prohibited. Again, our thanks to Yankee broadcasters Frank Messer, Bill White, and Phil Rizzuto. Final score again, Yankees 4, Blue Jays 1. This is Del Burnett speaking. This has been a presentation of AFRTS Sports in Washington. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.